Alright, we've got a 1997 Porsche Boxster here, and I'm in the middle of replacing the power steering pump. I just wanted to go over a couple things while I've got it all taken apart still. In order to do it, I had to take out the cross tube on the intake, disconnect the throttle body to do that, and now tipping over here. Also this power block here bolts down on the bracket over the power steering pump. I removed that for access. And the air conditioning compressor, I went ahead and unbolted that and repositioned it to get the hoses up out of the way to pull the power steering pump out. The pump is mounted right here. This is behind the driver's seat. The first thing I did was, we'll disconnect the negative cable on the battery because I don't like to get a big shock. After that, I went ahead and pulled off the pulley while the belt was still on to keep it from turning while I was loosening the bolts. After that was off, you have access to these 3 bolts, 1, 2, and 3. That's what really holds the power steering pump on, in addition to one more bolt that you do from the back. I'll come around now and show you where that one is. Okay. The other bolt is right there. Okay. So that holds it on from the back. When I was removing the pump that was in there, first I went ahead and drained as much of the fluid as I could, but I ended up with a lot of fluid still in there. This part is the lower part of the reservoir, and you've got a hose that connects back here. That hose basically got this plastic ring here, and that plastic ring locks that hose on there. So you need to disconnect that hose. You'll probably get a lot of fluid coming out when you do that. Also, putting in the new pump, it would have been a lot easier if I disconnected the belt tensioner pulley here. There's a bolt up there and a bolt down low down there that will go ahead and remove that. I decided not to do that, and that just made it so I had to really work at wiggling and getting everything just in the right position to get the original power steering pump out and then push this one back into place. So what else we got to talk about up here? Okay, the other pump pressure line is right here. That was a 17mm wrench to disconnect that, and there's 3 bolts for the air conditioning compressor. One goes right down here, the other is on the opposite side going down to there, and then the third one you can reach right down there through the intake. And in addition to that, there's a wire that mounts onto the fuel rail. You can see the green wire there with a big block on it. That's what it plugs into. Here's the wire for that. I'm going to put that back in a minute. So, just running through the basics now. First, disconnect the negative terminal on the battery. Remove the pulley. After that, get as much of the fluid out as you can. After that, you can take the belt off, disconnect these bolts, disconnect the bolt in back, which, in order to get to that, I had to go ahead and remove the throttle body and the cross tube. I'm pretty sure it'll still work about as well working on a 2.7 liter or 3.2 liter engine, but you're going to have a little bit of a different space here since you've got the 2 cross tubes between the plenum ends there. So after that, disconnect the hose up front, disconnect the hose in back, disconnect that bolt from the back side, get that pump pulled out to the back, and then from there you'd basically just put the other pump in and reverse the whole procedure. Okay, I want to mention this before I finish up. I was going to put the reservoir back on. You can see where it connects down there. And in order to get that to fit in, I did have to still have this removed. This is basically the power block that goes back to the engine. So with that up out of the way, you can actually fit this down in here to install it.